Good morning, everybody. This is Vincent with Listings to Leads. Can you let me know if you can hear me and can you see my screen? If you can put it in the comments panel, I'd appreciate it. And also, if you would, let me know where you are in the country, like what state, if you're outside the country, because some of the things that we're going to talk about to get more listings, they're kind of regional specific. Okay. First of all, I'm Vincent Meza, Listings to Leads. Thanks for joining me today. This is the call for top ways of getting more listings. So we do a lot of things here. I want to talk about just a little bit of that. Some of the big things that are going on today are our expired marketing listing, our listing presentation, our open house marketing, and our Facebook ads. These are kind of like the big hitters that I think everybody needs to understand. All four of those things actually are completely relevant to getting more listings. Okay. I see Michelle's over from Florida. So Michelle, you probably know that there's a lot of expireds hitting your market. Across the southern states, from even SoCal to Arizona, Texas, Louisiana, Tennessee, Denver, Florida, and the Carolinas, expireds are kind of a big deal. A lot of price appreciation happened, over COVID, and now we have high interest rates, so things are not selling like they used to as quickly. Hi, Mary from Wisconsin. Mary, are expireds happening up there? I'm kind of curious. We do have a few clients up there, and but I don't read much about expireds up there. So let me ask you, can you hear me clearly? Because sometimes when I have my video running here, my voice gets choppy. Oh, you do have the up there. So if I start to sound unclear, just let me know. I'm going to turn off my video camera here. So if we look at our website, you're going to see 3 agents all talking about how they are converting expired listings and turning them into their own listings. Oh, we got Yako from Brooklyn. Right on. I used to live in Queens and Manhattan. We have ads. We have ad software that gets you buyer leads and seller leads. This is Facebook ad software. We also have Google ad software, and Google is very powerful. We also have automated listing marketing and our listing presentation. So I said that kind of right at the beginning, which is the big 4 things that are really getting, business for our clients: our listing presentation, our Facebook ads, our expired marketing, and our open houses. And all 4 of those things are actually very important when it comes into getting listings. Before I dive into all that, though, I do want to talk about kind of, where's the help? If you're new to us, if you don't mind, let me know how long you've been with us in the comments panel. There's a lot to listings to leads. It can often be overwhelming, but Scott and I do live training classes 5 days a week. And we're really here to help you unpack and understand everything that you have here. So like today, we have live training, right? And I'm going to this is leadgenwebinars.com. You can find this on the internet. You can also find it inside your account. And today, you'll see that Scott did an expired workshop. So Scott does 4 expired workshops every week. You should get to leadgenwebinars.com. And if expireds are going on in your market, you definitely want to understand how to turn those into your listings. I'm doing top tools for more listings right now. This evening, Scott will do another expired call. He's also going to do an in-depth call tomorrow on open houses. So I'm going to talk, of course, about expireds and open houses, show you some of the highlights, but you definitely want to get to know these if you want more listings in your business. Okay. He'll be doing an in-depth call on expireds on Wednesday, new construction on Thursday, and what's happening real estate here. I think it's automated marketing. Okay. And then we start over next week onboarding call. So this is leadgenwebinars.com. You want to really get your arms around expireds and open houses, and we are going to be covering that this week. So get here. Okay. We also, while we do everything live, We also record them all. And they are all on this page. You can find listings to leads on YouTube, and there's our homepage here. I like the videos page. Every one of these classes are here, okay? And I want to point one out to you, which we're going to have it shortened, but you see this here, 10 listings in 10 weeks. That's really where you want to be, right? I want to point this out. That is a 40-minute call with an agent over in Boston, Leo, and he has 2 to 4 listing appointments every week, okay? And he's closing 1 new listing a week. So I think all of you would like to be there, right? That would be awesome. So let me describe to you what he is doing, and then we'll get into the system. What he's doing is he's holding open houses, and I mentioned that that's important for getting more listings. I'm going to show you why. He's working expired listings, and of course, that's getting more listing leads. And he's marketing his homes that he's sold with Facebook ads and postcards. All 3 of those activities capture seller leads. He has a very focused way of converting his leads. He doesn't call them once. He's got a very serious method of continual follow-up. And that's why he has 2 to 4 listing appointments every week. Okay. And I don't know how many listing appointments you have every week, but I think everybody would be happy to have 2 to 4. And so it's really simple what he's doing. He's focused on some parts of our platform, and he kind of gets there, right? And that's where he's getting. Now, I want to bring up one other resource, and that is our mastermind group that's on Facebook. You can get in here. Scott and I talk about some of the technology that's going on. Our clients ask questions here. Our clients also talk about, what they're doing and what's working for them. So I really recommend all of you kind of scan this for 15, 20 minutes a week and just see what's happening, what our clients are talking about. And this can help you out, right? I'm going to leave this here because what we're looking at actually has to do with open house marketing. So let's get into the system. And I want to point out first that there's a marketing calendar here, okay? And that actually has some daily tasks you can do, but I want to point out that there's a tab here that says resources. This is where you get to our YouTube channel I just showed you. This is how you get to our Instagram channel. Here's how you get to our mastermind group, which I just showed you. And here is where lead gen webinars is, right? So you can actually learn how to use listings to leads, okay? So let's go over here to the listings page and let's talk about how to get more listings, okay? Let me have a sip of my coffee and we'll go further. So do you remember the 4 things that I said are kind of most important right now? They are listing presentations, expired marketing, open house marketing, and Facebook ads, okay? All 4 of those things are going to get you more listings. Let's go into this one first. I'm on the listings page, and there's a tab that says listing presentation. Is anybody here not a client? Because what I'm about to show you is automatically sitting in your account if you're a client. So even if you sign up, you're going to have a listing presentation in Flipbook ready. And this is a conversation starter, okay? That's really what it is. What this is describing is what we do automatically for all of our clients when they have a listing in our account, right? We help them do paid ads. We market it for free on social media. We create a virtual tour and put it on YouTube. We create print flyers and postcards and door hangers for every property. We create a nearby homeowner letter. We create tools for your email so you can copy and blast out in your own CRM, or you can send it to your leads in our platform as well. We give you other emails and tools for the sphere of influence of your homeowners. We give you video content and scripts so you can make short videos for TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. We create single property websites and virtual tours. We even create QR codes because they're mobile optimized. So this is a very compelling, strong listing presentation. And we have lots of examples from many, many agents who are closing listings because they are getting this in front of people, right? You can actually take the hyperlink, the web address at the top of the browser there, and copy the front page and send it to people who you're trying to talk to, right? And you can copy this link up here and just forward it to people, right? This is going to get conversations started, right? So obviously you want to figure out how can I find people to get this listing presentation in front of, right? One of those ways is by focusing on expired marketing, okay? Now, this is my listings page, and if you're new to us, your listings sit on this page. You can even borrow listings and put them here. You could add your sold listings. I would highly recommend that you do that because you can market those and get more listing leads. But let's talk a little bit about the expired marketing, right? And I want to remind you, Scott's holding workshops this week and a full in detail longer class, I think tomorrow or Wednesday, right? But when you create a listing in our system with the status of expired, we ask what's their name and what's their address and add one photograph. And we create a custom listing presentation for that homeowner with their name and address on the cover and their photograph of their home throughout the same listing presentation. So if you're talking to an expired, maybe you're calling them and they're not responding, you can create this with their name and address and their home throughout this, and you can text that to them, right? This is going to get a conversation started. Let me tell you a story over here of JJ, okay? I mentioned that these three people are all kind of killing it with expireds. They're in different parts of the country, hitting expireds a different way. And this young lady, she calls those expireds on day one. She sees it in her MLS. She calls them along with hundreds or dozens of other agents, and the homeowners don't respond. She leaves 2 voice messages. She then texts them once and says, would you like to see my listing presentation? No response. And then she goes and creates a custom listing presentation with their name and address and a picture of their home, and she texts this to them. So her 4th reach out is, if you're interested, please click this link to see how I sell homes. And people click on this and they can visualize what's going on and how she's going to market their home, which they obviously wanted to sell, but they couldn't for whatever reason. And she has 4 listings in 6 weeks. Okay. That would be pretty awesome to have 4 listings in 6 weeks, right? This gentleman here, he's a 20-year veteran at EXP, working with EXP. He's got a really good way of door knocking, okay? And if you can see me here, I'm holding our listing presentation, which I've been showing you in Flipbook, but this is a print version, how we're gonna sell your expired home, right? This is a custom version that JJ is texting people, but we make it available for you to order this, not one by one. Like this isn't, one home. The one I'm holding in my hand, it has more generic pictures, right? But it is branded to you. It's got your logo on every page. So if you knock on somebody's door who is trying to sell their home and they haven't relisted, you might want to listen to this guy's approach. It's rock solid, okay? He added 2.7 million in 3 days of door knocking. All he's doing is reaching out to people whose homes haven't sold, and he is giving this listing presentation to those people, okay? And it's so compelling that people are just, they're inviting him in the house, they're talking, because that is a very strong listing presentation, okay? This gentleman up here, he's been in the industry for 2 years this month in April, okay? And he added in the first 2 weeks of January, 2.2 million in listings. He's over in North Carolina. And he also, we have another video of him over here on the YouTube channel back in November. And in that call, he said, you know what, this is so good. I'm going to get 10 of these listing presentations in physical format into my market every week. That was in November. What we're looking at here on this homepage is a call that he sent us on January 14th. And he's got more listings. He's already reaping the benefits of planting 10 of these into his market every week. I want to point out, remember this guy here I mentioned earlier, Leo? I told you, he markets solds, he does open houses, and he works expireds. He's getting a lot of listings. If you watch that call, he will tell you he's putting 80 of these into his market every month. 40 for expireds, like this, and 40 just how we're going to sell your home, non-expired, right? So he's got a system of getting seller leads at such a high volume that he is getting 80 of those listing presentations in the print format I was showing you into his market every month, and that's why he has 2 to 4 listing appointments every week, because that just gets the phone ringing, right? So let's talk a little bit about how do you get those, right? Let me ask, does anybody here have our listing presentation in a print format yet? It should look like this. And this one's a complete marketing plan to get your home sold. So this is the non-expired one. We make them for expireds, standard, which is this here, and also for cancel and FSBOs. I think you absolutely want to have expireds and standards. You go here to order the setup for the style that you want. And then we kind of go back and forth via email and mock it up and say, do you like that? And if you like it, great. Then you can order 10, 20, 30, 40, right? That's how it works. And so let me send this to everybody. It is on our blog. If you go to our website, and you type in presentation booklet order, you will see this page, and you can order the setup, and you can order them after you've accepted and approved the setup. Okay. So if you want more listings, you need to get our listing presentation in front of people. Okay. That's like the short answer. You can do it electronically, and I definitely recommend that, especially if you're moving a custom one. But I can tell you, we even had a guy take this one, which is the generic one sitting in everybody's account right now, and he took 200 stale leads, like in his own CRM, and wrote a simple email back in December. And he said, hey, are you thinking of selling in 2026? That was a subject line. And in the body, he wrote just a couple messages like, hey, well, I've got a really powerful marketing system. I can help you get more buyers. And he put in a link to this. Click this link to see how I do it. He had, from 200 stale leads sitting in his CRM doing nothing, started 17 conversations with 17 different homeowners just by emailing this out to 200 people. So you really want to think, you're on a call with me today to get more listings. What you need to understand is, how can I get this in front of homeowners? Expired marketing is one way. You'll also see here that I have a FSBO one, right? So if I create a FSBO draft, I can go here, and guess what? I have a listing presentation for a FSBO as well. Let me ask here, does anybody here work FSBOs? This is the same presentation, but now it's got a different home built throughout, okay? If you do work FSBOs, I want to point out that we actually have landing pages for you to use. I have a landing page down here for FSBOs in Orlando. Let's click on marketing tools and see what that's about. So everything that we do, you can market with Facebook ads and Google ads, and we share it for free on social media. But this is going to help people get information if they're selling their home on their own. And the point of it is that we're offering free marketing tools. This landing page is auto-designed for you. It doesn't have to be Orlando. It could be Austin. It could be Denver. It could be any city or any neighborhood in the world. Okay. And you can see what it's saying. Would you like some free marketing tools? Would you like a flyer? Would you like a virtual tour? Yes? Great. Give us all your contact info and your address. When you click this button, it asks, can we have a photograph? Upload a photograph of your home. At that point, we have created this. We have created a custom listing presentation for that homeowner. But that's not what they asked for on the landing page. They asked for some marketing tools, right? So if I go over to my listings, we've automatically created all the tools that they requested. And we emailed some of them to you. But whatever they requested, if you click on marketing tools, you're going to get the tools that they're all right here. You can click on them, copy the link, and send it to the homeowner because you now have their name, phone number, and email, because that's what you captured on the landing page, right? And you should give those to them. You can have a nice chat with them. But the reason that agents reach out to FSBOs is because they know that within 2 months on average, a FSBO will hand that listing to an agent. Now, if you're the one giving them free marketing tools, because that's what they asked for, well, you've got a conversation already going, right? And you can wait a little while, maybe a month or two, until they're tired of doing that, and text them this link and say, by the way, I'm a realtor right here in your market. And if you're interested, this is how I sell homes. This is a great way of turning FSBOs into your listing. Okay. So there are tools there. And by the way, I really recommend when you look at our landing page that you can call FSBOs. You might find their number somewhere, but you can also create postcards and door hangers and just print out, I don't know, 100, 200 of each of these, mail one to the homeowner, hang one on their door, multiple ways of getting to that landing page to get free marketing tools. You can turn these into your own listings, right? And again, that's a good way to find homeowners who are trying to sell their home so that you can leverage our listing presentation to get them, to turn into your listing. So I'm going to remind you, we do live classes on FSBO marketing. There's more to FSBO marketing than I have time to show you today, right? But we know that we've got a listing presentation. We know that we can reach out to expireds or FSBOs or canceled, or maybe you just got an awesome seller lead that you're trying to, engage. You can create a listing presentation like this. You can go add listing, click manual, and you click listing presentation, or go down here for canceled, expired, or FSBO. They're all going to do the same thing. They're going to ask, what's the name of the homeowner? Put in their name, put in the address, and add one photograph. And that will create a custom listing presentation for that homeowner with their name and address and photo of their home built throughout. Okay. You've got to figure out how you can get contact information of people who want to sell their homes. Now, I'm going to, before I move forward, I'm going to point out that, and again, Scott's going to go into great detail in this in our calls, but there are companies that sell that information because you might not know how to find an expired, right? You might see that it's expired in your MLS, but do you have their contact information? And do you know if they're on the do not call list or not, right? So this company here, they actually do know. They'll tell you, here's their contact information, here's their name and phone number and their email, and here are the do not call numbers, right? So you want to be cautious of that. My Plus Leads is great at doing that. If you're going to use this, I'll send it to you now. Let them know that you are a client of ours working on the expired marketing program. Because if you start a 30-day free trial here, they only give you 30 days back of expired leads. And that's not good enough. You need to wait 3 months to reach out. That's what these people are doing. Okay. They wait 3 months because if they haven't relisted, they're still thinking about it. And now they're not getting harassed by dozens of agents. So if they haven't relisted, they're probably going to be ready and open to discussing with you. And if you get our listing presentation in their hands, that's the best way. That's the best thing you can do, right? Now, back to Leo's story here, this guy waits 2 to 3 years, not months. So if they try to sell and they still haven't sold 2 or 3 months later, he's reaching out to them. And I want to just say right off the bat, because I talk to realtors, all the time, and they're kind of afraid of expireds. They're like, no, they've already relisted, right? Our clients are not telling us that. Our clients are saying, I'm getting my listing presentation in front of you. And even if they wanted to relist, this guy here will tell you, I get the listing anyway. Our listing presentation is very different from the story of, I'm going to put your listing in the MLS and that's going to change your world. It's just not that, right? It's a lot more compelling. So you want to figure out, how can I get that into the market? Okay. Let's talk about open houses. And let me ask, I'm going to have a sip of coffee. Do you have any questions about what I'm talking about here? Is this making sense to you? Are you tracking? Let me have a sip of coffee. As a reminder, you can order your booklets right here. Okay, I'm on the listings page. There's a page right there. Even though I sent it to you, you can get it right there. So the other big deal, do you have a code for My Plus Leads by any chance? No, Anna, that link that I sent you is our link. So they will know that you are, I sent this, you got this link, right? So you don't need a code because that's actually associated to us. And once you've signed up, let them know that you're working with us and you're working on our expired marketing program and you'd like 6 months back data, and they will give that to you. Okay. And you want to start with 3 months and then do the 4 months and go backwards till 6. And then those 2 and 1 months, they're going to be kind of, old enough for you to reach out. Yes. Okay. You're welcome. Let's talk about open houses. Let me ask before we start, just give me a yes or no. Does anybody here work open houses? Because as I mentioned, I do a lot to talk to people about open houses, and we know, I can tell you in 2025, if you look last year on our YouTube channel, you will see that there are a lot of teams hosting 2 to 4 open houses every week, because they talk to more homeowners from that than anything else. Now, our expired marketing, we really came online in Q4 last year, right? So that was about 6 months ago. Prior to that, open houses was the #1 way of getting seller leads. Mahmoud's asking, how do I edit the flip book? You actually don't edit the flip book, Mahmoud. What do you want to change? What do you want to change? I mean, your logo and colors and your headshot flow through every page. That's by default. If you don't do coming soon, you can take the coming soon page off by going to your preferences under the listings page. But that's all you can customize for now. And Anna has said, well, Mahmoud, I just showed you how to do that. I want to put the seller's house on there. You don't customize a listing presentation, Mahmoud, to do that. You create a new one, okay? So follow along, because I just did this for everybody. You go to listings, you go to add listing, you go manual, and you click listing presentation right here as a status. You put their name, you put their address, and you save and add 1 photograph. Okay? Does that make sense? Now, Anna is saying that you do open houses, but you don't ever get anything from them. So let's talk about that, okay? Because as I mentioned, open houses were the #1 way of getting listings. And let me be really specific. There are other ways to get more listing leads, right? But then you got to ask yourself, how do I turn that into a listing? And that's where the rub is, right? And that's why our clients and our teams were doing so many open houses last year, because this was the #1 way of getting more listings, okay? Now, for an open house, and Scott does a full in-depth class, you want to run a Facebook ad. But this is going to get primarily buyers. But I will point out that if you go to advanced options, these leads, they come with auto-populated questions. Like, do you have a home to sell? You can change your questions here, but we're by design automatically pointing that, right? You can ask other questions like, what's your move-in date? Have you been pre-approved? But that question there, do you have a home to sell? You right away know that, right? You right away know that they've already got a home, right? But you run the ad really to let everybody know, and you're going to get name, email, and phone number with every lead. So that's awesome, right? But that's not why you get listings from open houses. So Anna, you definitely want to do that. Okay. If you spend $50 on an open house, probably 2,000 people will see this ad. I recommend that when you're doing this, you put in the date and time up top, because when some people see this on their smartphone, they may not see all this, but they will see this. And if they're interested in that home because they like the pictures, they're going to click and you're going to get name, email, and phone number. Okay. Let's click here on nearby homeowner letter. This is the reason that agents, we'll talk about that in a moment, Anna. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Okay. Where are you? Where are you in the country, Anna? So what we're on is nearby homeowner letters. And there are 3 versions of the same letter, okay? And what you want to do is download this and print this. Georgia, yeah, okay. You want to do this, print this. Let's look at it here. And you want to give this to like 100 neighbors, okay? Because it says, hey, I've got an open house from 1 to 4. Check it out. Scan that or go there and go find out and become a buyer lead. But that's going to affect your home value. And go here, take this piece of paper to your own computer in your home and go get your free home value. Okay. Now, if this page here doesn't look like your market, you can change this background picture. You do that over here on this landing page section here, because that page is the very first one here. So Anna, if you're using that and you want to make sure that this looks like your market, put something here that looks like your market. And for all of you, I'm not really sure where you are in the country. If that doesn't look like your page, take a moment to go to background and put a big photograph of something that everybody in your market's going to know. Okay. So let's talk about, well, let's finish the open house story. Okay. I have a 5-minute video on the tools that you want to use here. We've looked at a couple, okay? One of them is the Facebook ad. The other, by all means, is the nearby homeowner letter. You also want to use an e-flyer for your database, which means you can copy and blast out on your own CRM 1, 2, 3 buyer leads, links for buyer leads, 1, 2, 3 links to get seller leads from one email, okay? Copy the code here and blast it out on your leads there. Now, you can also send it to your buyer leads or all leads, right? You can send to your leads via our platform as long as their leads are here in the system, right? So definitely get the e-flyer out. There are print flyers, listing flyers. We auto-generate these for you. They have QR codes driving to the websites. So there's a lot here to help you. There's even an open house sign-in form, right? And, this asks a couple questions. You get their email on the next page, and we'll send them a single property website to email, and you are going to have another lead, right? So you can use this at the open house. But there's actually 2 more compelling parts of our system that you want to use at an open house. And that is one of these PDF guides. So you could print out some of these PDF guides, but for the sake of an open house, I actually think you want to do this. You want to print flyers. So there are multiple ways to advertise these, right? Facebook, Google, free social media. But I want to download this, and I want you to download 6 different flyers for 6 different booklets. And then go over to FedEx or Staples or whatever and print those out and put them. Go get these little flyers, if you can see in my hands, a little tabletop thing, right? Because they can download them for free. but really it's branded to you. And you want people to know that you're the realtor, right? So that you can have real conversations with them, right? That is the point. You're inviting homeowners and you've got tools to start conversations. Hopefully, you've got a couple of our standard listing presentations also sitting on the kitchen counter, right? But there's even more. There's even more. But wait, there's more. So if the home is furnished, grab the smart TV and point that smart TV to YouTube and try to write this down. I'll copy. I'll see if I can copy it and share it with you. You want to know this text right here. It's on YouTube. You could go home tonight and you would find this on YouTube hundreds of times because our clients have downloaded it and put it on their own channel. But it's not branded to them. So you can run it any version. It's got music. You don't have to play the music. You might like Enya or something like that. You can play that in the house. But this is a 5-minute commercial of our listing presentation. So if you've taken the time to invite 100 homeowners into your open house, well, I'm pretty sure 100 people are not going to come, right? But maybe 3 or 4 or 5 will come. Whoever comes is thinking of either buying or selling. And now you've got this running, and that's why I wanted to leave this up, because Scott's showing you that's what it looks like on a smart TV, right? And it's literally running. So hold open houses. And Anna, you're doing your own open houses. I'll tell this to all of you. If you want more listings, you should borrow listings from your colleagues who want an open house, and you sit on the open house. You pull a listing into your account. You run your own ad. You get your own nearby homeowner letters. You capture those leads for you, and you run this video on that smart TV, and that's going to open up a lot of conversations for you. Okay. Open houses in 2025 were the #1 way of getting listings. Let's talk about the #1 way of getting more listing leads. Like, how can I get more leads, right? You're welcome, Anna. So you see this here? This is a sold property. And just like marketing an open house, there's all kinds of cool tools. But remember when I talked about this guy over here, Leo? And I said he's got 2 to 4 listing appointments every week. He is very focused on open house marketing because he runs, he gets the nearby homeowner letter out and he invites them over. Then he makes sure that they signs in. You should watch that video because he says he's like a hawk to make sure he's getting the real the information on those homeowners when they come through. Okay. So that way he can work on them and drip on them. Right. But he also markets his homes as sold. So here, this is a social media post. This is a social media ad, right? A Facebook ad. Okay. And let's just see what it says. This home is sold. That affects your home value. Click here to get your home value. That's it, right? You remember when I was talking about this guy on our homepage running sold ads? This guy's in Texas. He owns an LPT office. He runs about 5 to 8 ads every week, okay? If you listen to this, he'll tell you, he created this video to train his agents, right? He's trying to show them, hey, run sold ads. But what he says in the beginning of his video, you can kind of follow along there. He says, I generated 114 leads, buyer leads from this home. And I got 4 transactions, 4 people into homes from marketing one home. Now, to get 114 buyer leads, that's probably about $300 to $400 for buyer leads, right? And he says, but I also flipped it to sold, run an ad. I use my text service to text him and get him into a conversation that afternoon, wants to sell a $400,000 home and purchase another one for $450 from one $4 lead from a sold ad on Facebook. You can find his name, Brian Mathewson, in our mastermind group, because he shared that video in our mastermind group. And if you find it, you might notice that I asked him, Brian, what did you do to that ad, right? Well, how did you customize that? And he said, I didn't do any customization. I just clicked the buttons and ran the ad. That's all I did, right? And let's see here. That video is here somewhere. This is Brian holding his open houses. Notice he's got all kinds of our tools floating around his open houses. But somewhere down there, he talks heavily. There's actually a call with Brian. It's a longer strategic call on open house marketing. I mean, that's a big deal for them, right? That's just a straight up big deal for them. But when he marketed his sold ad, which is on our homepage, he didn't do anything but hit Facebook and Instagram and click that button. That's it. And he gets seller lead. Now, he doesn't say every one of his leads turned into business. He says one did, one $4 lead. Okay. I want to click in here in the advanced options because I want to remind you that there are multiple questions that we can ask. What's your time frame to sell? Are you curious what it could sell for right now? Would you like to see my marketing plan, right? All this is first before we get their name, email, and phone number auto-populated from the ad. And then we bring it over here and great, go click here to get your home value. So let me kind of walk you through this because, and Anna, please follow along here because I'm going to talk a little bit about converting leads because you've been running open house ads, but you're not really getting great conversion, right? So let's just talk about this one. Okay, so here, I want to remind you that we're getting their name, email, and phone number. Then we show them this language, which means you can call them and it's privacy language. And then we say, click here and give us your address to get your home value. And some people, people get distracted. People are distracted in 5 seconds. So do they actually click that and give you their address? You will know because once they give you this, we're sending you their name and email and phone number, right? So you know that they responded to your ad and you have their contact information. If you don't see their address come in the next minute, you should text them. You should text them because you have their phone number and say, hey, I noticed that you saw my ad on Facebook, but we didn't get your address. I see you want your home value. Could you text me your address and I will get that for you immediately, right? Text that to them. And Anna, that is the point I want to make to you and to all of you. If you're getting name, email, and phone number on your leads, you probably think you should call them. But I don't know if you've heard this, but there are a lot of scams in this world, and nobody is really comfortable talking to people who they don't know. So if you text them 4 or 5 times with simple questions like, hey, do you live here? I saw you saw my open house. Are you moving here? Do you live here? Right? One question, wait 30 minutes. By the way, that's a 3-2. Do you need that? Wait 30 minutes. It's in this school district. Is that important to you? Right? Later, 30 minutes. This is $400,000. Is that in your budget? Ask them a few questions so that they know that it's you, Anna, and you're just trying to help them. If after that, after 4 or 5 questions, whether they responded or not, give them a call. You're going to have a better opportunity to talk to them if you've done that. We actually, under the leads tab here, I can't show you because it messes up the video. We have our own AI text follow-up that's converting 14% of our leads with phone numbers, which means Facebook leads, to a conversation. 14% of your leads to a conversation. Okay. So either you text them or we text them. I highly recommend that you start by texting. Okay. So that's it. That like when we talk about Brian over here from LPT, he's just running simple sold ads. If we talk about Leo here from Boston, he is always running sold ads on every property he sells, right? Because he's getting seller leads and they may not be the best leads, but he knows that they had to be interested. So he's going to keep working them. And that's how Leo has 4 to 6, 2 to 4 listing appointments every week. Okay. That's part of it. Okay. That's the easiest way to get a high volume of seller leads. Not as high quality as the homeowner walking through the open house, and definitely not as high quality of the homeowner that tried to sell their home and now their home is expired. Those are higher quality leads. But if you are starting to realize, like, hey, having a database of people who are thinking of selling, that might be beneficial, right? I want to also point out that if you have a home that's under contract or pending, you can also run ads on that, and the same language is there. This doesn't work as well as the sold ads. Now, we'll look at it, and I'll explain to you why. This says this home is pending, and it's going to close soon, and that's going to affect your home value. Get your home value, right? So it's designed to get seller leads still. But people don't really see pending ads too much or under contract ads. So they would have to read this. And we are talking about social media. So if people don't, they may not get it, right? That's really it. But I will point this out. I think it's worth testing because not many agents run this ad. Okay. And because of that, your lead cost can be really low, like $3 a lead for seller leads, which is awesome because when you run the sold ad, I didn't mention this, those leads cost $7 or $8 each. When you run a pending or under contract ad, these can be $3 and $4 each. So same lead, same interested homeowner, just paying less for the lead. It's really worth testing that. Okay. Let's look. Okay, let's go. Let me ask, are there any questions? And by the way, that reminds me, I'm going to ask you all, I'm going to send this to you now. I'll remind you later. We would really love your feedback when it comes to, just to the content on this, right? That's post webinar. Yeah. So I'm going to send this. I think there's like 6 questions on here. We want to know if we're missing something here. So if you wouldn't mind taking a couple minutes and filling out this after the call, we'd appreciate it. Okay. Now, let me ask before, I'm going to go into something deep about how to farm your farm market. And it gets a little more technical, but of everything that we talked about so far, are there any questions, whether it's the listing presentation, expireds, or open houses or sold ads? Can I answer any questions for you? Okay. Here is what I want to talk about now. So let's talk about, like, put it, if you don't mind, put in the chat panel, what's your number one farm market that you are trying to build? I talk to realtors all the time. And, I often hear, like, I'm a realtor, I'm licensed, I live in this great town, and there's this other realtor who is just dominating my area. They're getting listings here all the time, and I have none, right? Are any of you in that position? Or do you have a farm market that you just really want to build business in? Maybe it's the right price point. Maybe there's turnover there. Okay, so Kennesaw, Georgia. Let's go look at Kennesaw. Let's go. I've never heard of Kennesaw. Keneonne, city in Georgia, right? So let's go look here. Oh, it looks pretty. Okay, let's open this in maps and talk a little bit about this. So if that's a place that you want to own, let me give you the short story of how to farm that area. Okay. So where is Kennesaw on this map? It looks like it's kind of a dense area. Looks like it's right here. Okay. And let's see if I can do this in this. I don't really want that one. I want this one. I can see easier this way. So this little red area is Kennesaw, right? And you can see you've got little towns here, here, and here. And that means that Marietta is probably within 15 miles of you, right? And all these towns here, everything we can see on this map is within 15 miles of you, right? So let's say that you go over here to landing pages and you click create landing page. Okay. And you're going to do property valuation plus, and you call it Kennesaw. Okay. That's going to create a custom landing page that looks like this with a coffee cup and a laptop and a pad, right? It's going to say, what's your Kennesaw home worth? You want to click the pencil and put a nice picture of Kennesaw right in the background. Okay, right here. So I don't know, like in Kennesaw, you know, like, is there a downtown street? Is there a very big popular mall? Is there a super awesome restaurant that everybody in Kennesaw knows? Because you're going to ask them for their address and contact information. And if they don't think you are from their area, you're not going to have a lot of success. Okay. So let's give you a better example. I have one here for San Antonio, Texas. Okay. And that background picture is the Riverwalk, really pretty picture, right? So, that's a little bit touristy. So you don't want the big tourist things in there. You want the thing that locals know, right? But now I'm on Facebook. Okay. So I'm clicking marketing for Facebook, and I want to not drive traffic. I want lead ads because I like names. I like name, email, and phone number in my lead. So I'm changing it to lead ads. And let's imagine that this said Kennesaw, and that you had a nice picture of Kennesaw, and you type in Kennesaw here, right? And it's going to say Kennesaw in 15 miles. $50 ad, create ad. That's it. You're going to get name, email, and phone number. There's even some questions in there. You can change those questions. But here's the problem. That's Kennesaw. And I don't know how many people live there, but let's just say, I'm going to just guess like 30,000, 40,000 people, right? But here's Marietta within 15 miles, and there's all these people. This ad's probably going to show, I'm just going to take a wing it, to maybe 500,000 people that don't live in Kennesaw. Does that make sense? That's why a Facebook ad can be not very successful. So there's a way to work around that. And this is really, really important. I'm going to go to the ads page, and I am going to click on create an audience. Hey, what the heck is that? Sorry, don't know what just happened. Let's do that again. I hate it when this does this. Okay. So I'm gonna click create ad. Yeah. And you can call this Kennesaw homeowners. Nobody's going to see this, only you. You can upload a list of like 1,000 homeowners. It's got to be minimum 1,000. You need this. This is the format of the spreadsheet that you have to upload. Okay. Email, number, first name, last name, those headers, these columns, nothing more and nothing less. Where do you get that list? This company will give it to you. I think Vulcan 7, Red X, List Source, Remine. You want to get a list of name, email, and phone number and upload it into Facebook. So when you target that ad, it's not hitting 15-mile radius. It's hitting only homeowners because that's what you bought. You can buy a list of homeowners that owned a home for more than 5 years. Okay. Also, upload that list to your CRM. Okay, to your own CRM, because you can now, not only can you create ads and run them on your Kennesaw home valuation landing page, you can also, now you can target those people directly. You can also take that same landing page, and because you bought the list from whoever you bought it from, you can say, hey, I want to market these seller PDF guides. I've got it in my CRM. I've got it on my constant contact, right? And now I'm just going to go over here to all of the 40 PDF guides for homeowners and copy the e-flyer for the database. Okay, I'm going to copy it here and blast it out on that same list of people that I'm running ads to. And they're right there, right there, right there, and right there, they can become a lead. Okay. So when you're thinking of farming an area, At the bare minimum, you want to start thinking, I want to run ads to them. I want to send emails to them, and I want to mail things to them, right? Maybe I want to mail a postcard or do a door hanger, right? Maybe I want to create that Kennesaw home value page, and I want to I want to mail a postcard once a quarter. You see here, I've got postcards. This is for Folsom. There's a QR code already built into it. Okay. On the front, go here to get your home value in Kennesaw. On the back, go here to get your home value. You can download this here and send it to any printer you want. If you have an account with Express Copy, you can connect it, and this green button, let's just see how it works. We're almost at the top of the hour. You can say, hey, Express Copy, mail this in a whatever radius. Only mail it to people that own a home, single family home, for more than 5 years, 6 years. Click that button. They download it. They print it. They mail it. You don't even have to touch it. Okay? I would recommend sending more than 20. You might want to do, I don't know, 50. Boom, submit order. It only goes to homeowners that have owned for more than 6 years. The short story is we have tools that you can customize to Kennesaw, or we have PDF guides, or we have other landing pages for homeowners. You can market those with direct ads with a custom audience in Facebook. You can upload that same list to your CRM, and we've got email content to deliver that in email. And also we have print content. This is how you work your farm with listings to leads. Digitally, free social media, paid ads, print, and email. Any other questions? We got 2 minutes left. I know you guys are all busy. Do we have any questions on any aspect of the platform? Well, I appreciate you being here with me. Can I answer anything for you? This call is being recorded. It will be on this page later this afternoon. If you want to see the deep, oh, thank you, Anna. If you want to see the deep calls that are on our homepage, go back 4 or 5 months ago. And honestly, I have these in one email. If you want these in one email, shoot me an email. I'm Vince at Listings to Leads. Here's my email. If you have other questions later, you can reach out to me. If you need a team account or a broker account, you're going to need to reach out to me. I'm Vince at listingstoleads.com. But I want you to go back here, especially if you're trying to get more listings, and go look at those videos from JJ and from Scott Murray and from John Summers. Here is Scott Murray, and he, it's only 5 minutes long, and he's telling you exactly how he hits the door and what he does. This guy knows how to door knock. Okay. If you don't want to door knock, here's JJ, who calls people, leaves voice messages, and then creates a custom listing presentation and texts it to them. That's 5 months ago. Okay. This is John Summers, and he'll tell you in that call, yeah, I leave a voicemail and people call back. I wait 3 months. They call back. My voicemail is, I understand you wanted to sell your home. I just want to shake your hand and introduce myself and give you this one pamphlet on my marketing guide. That's all John is doing. Okay. He's probably gotten more sophisticated since that call 5 months ago, but he is becoming the top listing agent of an office of over 100 agents. And he is working open houses, and he is working expireds, and he is just becoming a big realtor. He's actually was the top listing agent in his office like in February. So I really recommend checking those out. This call, like I said, is being recorded. It'll be right up here later on. Here's Scott's last call on expired. So if I didn't give you enough answers on expireds, it's all right here at the top of this page. All right, everybody, have a great week. Again, thank you for being here. Please take a moment and fill out that survey if you would. And if you need any help, I'm Vince at Listings to Leads. If you need a team account, let me know. Have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.